Happy to have with us this week on Best Bets at the Box Office. This is Katherine Helmond, who, if you don't recognize her yet, is from the Soap series. How long have you been doing Soap, by the way?
4 years. We're going to do a feature film of Soap. So we'll tie up all the ends.
Is that right?
And they've come up with a completely demented idea for a film which completely fits Soap.
But Benson lives on, right? Benson's still going strong.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Benson will be producing the film.
Oh, really? Katherine is starring in a new movie called Time Bandits. That's the reason she's here. And it's hard to describe what kind of a movie it is. You want to say it's a Monty Python movie, but it's not the Holy Grail or Life of Brian. Can you tell us a little bit about Time Bandits?
Yeah. It will be a surprise to a lot of people, I think, because it isn't like any of the other Python films. But two of the people that worked with Monty Python, Terry Gilliam and Michael Palin, who was one of their actors, they wrote this script. It's a fantasy film, and it's about a young boy who has trouble identifying with today and with his parents and communicating in such an electronic age. And they're always watching television. And so he begins spending more and more time in his mind and in fantasy. And finally, his mind makes that jump in time, and he goes back in time to the time of Napoleon and the time of Agamemnon and to the Dark Ages where I appear. And he runs into a group of dwarfs who used to work in heaven doing trees and small shrubs. So they collide together, and the whole group finds their way through time, back and forth. I worked in a tank in Pinewood Studios. The ship, you know, that's on the poster, that's the one I worked on. And this particular clip we're going to see, it shows just your average Dark Ages couple, Mr. and Mrs. Ogre. So they really have a taste for little boys and dwarfs. They eat them. And in this particular clip, we see them at home, having a morning at home.
At home on the ship. Yes,
at home on the ship, and they find something in the water unexpected for lunch.
Okay, let's take a look at this clip.
Morning, dear. Come on. And the ointment for the leg.
You can only get 1 hour's sleep a night because your back hurts. You take cough in case you pull a muscle.
But you are horrible, dear.
You're just saying that. There used to be a time when you could be sure of catching old boots, cans, hat racks, boxes. Now it's prawns all the bloody time. Anti-pollution. Come out here and help me.
Dear, dear, leave that to me, please.
Yeah.
Oh. Aren't they lovely? We can have them for breakfast.
Just an average day at home with Mr. and Mrs. Ogre, right?
Yes.
That's excellent. Now, Peter Vaughan plays the ogre.
I saw him just last week when I saw The French Lieutenant's Woman. He plays the father of the girl that's engaged to the young man.
All right.
Terry was very clever with this film. The reason he got all these people to work is because he did so much pre-production work. He was so prepared that he was able to tell everybody, if you work 1 day, you'll be finished. If you work 1 week, 10 days. He had all their scenes back-to-back planned. And so he was able to go to everyone, like he asked Sean Connery to be in the film, and Sean Connery said, wait a minute, I'm doing 2 films. I have exactly 1 week free between 2 films. And Terry said, great, that's all I need. And so Sean said, okay. And then we all had such a great time. They do create such a wonderful atmosphere in the working. I think that they're branching out in many, many directions. And too, you know, George Harrison, one of the Beatles, put his money into it because he thinks they're pretty bright, terrific guys. And it's nice to see these young fellows that have made a great success and a lot of money, spreading it around a little bit and investing in other people's careers.
What was it like working on the ship? Were you actually on the ship for more than a couple of shots?
Oh yes, we worked totally on the ship.
Is that right?
We had 2 ships. One was an entire hull with an interior of this that you just saw, and the other one, when you saw us pull up the dwarfs and the little boy in the net, that was the hull of a ship that had no interior to it. And that one sat in a tank in Pinewood Studios in England. And the other one was on a sound stage and was a whole ship made with that set. You could go on the deck and up the stairs and into the bunks where they slept and everything. It was beautifully executed.
Great. Did you know at the time that you would be living on top of a man's head? Did he tell you that, or was that something he added later?
No. When I saw the film finished, I was amazed at that special effect. It's fantastic,
Incredibly
isn't
realistic,
it?
isn't it?
Yes, it is.
You've been in all sorts of media, I guess, television, film, and stage for quite some time.
Yes.
Our camera lady, Marnie Robinson, was wanting me to ask you if you were doing anything besides, acting talent-wise, getting behind the camera and doing anything.
Yes, well, that's one of the reasons I took up the project of producing, so I can learn how to put a piece together from beginning to end. And I'm also getting ready to do a pilot for a new series. I'm negotiating now with Warner Brothers and ABC. I'll do the pilot in January, and hopefully ABC will buy it, with another actor from the stage, Hector Elizondo, who did Freebie and the Bean this year. One of the things that I've asked for in my contract is a chance to direct. Women have to fight to hang on to some kind of longevity in the industry, because usually once you're past 30, they figure, well, into the old garbage disposal with that one. You have to make the work. You have to create it and put it out there, organize it and do it. You have to come with the ideas. Now, the woman that did Soap, of course, created it and wrote it every week, Susan Harris. And if you look at all, for instance, all of the women nominated, I was nominated 4 years for an Emmy for Soap. All the women nominated were women in 40s, 50s that have been hanging around for a long time, and I won the Golden Globe this year for the foreign press. All the women nominated were in their 40s, and I think a lot more women are getting into writing and directing and producing and even camera work, which is good. But they have to really struggle, and I would like to, when I'm 80, I would like to be like Ruth Gordon, in there still doing a half a dozen things, and probably by then there'll be fewer and fewer acting parts, and I'll move behind the camera.
You even started your own summer stock theater in the Catskill Mountains, is that true?
And ran it into total bankruptcy. The first year we did Shakespeare, Shaw, Tennessee Williams, and Arthur Miller. Now, it was a little heavy for summer stock. We had Macbeth ran 3.5 hours. And my grandmother, who is now 95, came to see it, and she said, what do you want to do a play like that for? And I said, oh, Grandma, it's one of the greatest plays ever written. And she said, that's no excuse. So it did go bankrupt, but...
Good learning experience, though.
It was. Yes, I cleaned the johns, I ironed the clothes, I ran the sound. I ended up, fortunately, not being one of those actors that thinks that I'm made of pure gold and all I have to do is walk out and stand there and it's wonderful. It made me realize all the component parts that make the actor look good.
Right. Well, Katherine, thanks for being with us, and good luck on all your producing and directing and starring ventures in the future. And I think Time Bandits is going to be a big success.
Well, I do too, and it opens in 800 theaters on November the 6th.
Okay, well, remember that. November the 6th.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for being with us on Best Bets at the Box Office.
Nice to be here.